YouTube, welcome back to another video from Wtf Rc Cars. So, we've got the Slash, one of my favourite RCs that we've got. I had a lot of fun with this, and when I first bought it I wanted something from RPM, and it's a quick release body mount system. Now, finally managed to find one in Appliance Electronics, so cheers guys, that one's brilliant. The only thing that's going to complicate stuff on this is, at the minute, and I really do like these, we have these Scorch Parts mud guards. So I've been running it with them. They do stop an awful lot of the crap getting inside the RC, but these mount to the top of the standard body mounts, and it does work really well. It also stops your wheels hitting your body and taking paint off, which is quite useful. Now, we're going to have to remove these body mounts to fit this sort of body clipless quick release body mount kit. So I'm going to start by removing the Scorch Parts mud guards, and then I'm going to have a look into seeing if we can modify these in some way or make some little brackets so I can put them back on it, because I don't really want to lose these, but I really do want to fit the quick release body mount system because it's cool. So what I'm going to start with is removing the 4 screws that we've got that hold the body mount on, and these should be quite easy to remove. So let's get the mud guards off. Now, if I'm going to run this in winter, I do like to have the Scorch Parts mud guards on it, but we're coming into summertime now, the time of year in UK where we get like 2 days where it don't rain. So we may end up getting another body and running that in the winter with the mud guards, and in the summer running it just like this. So in the box you get 2 bits of paper. One is an instruction sheet, and this will fit the bodies with the number boards behind the cab, and it'll also fit the body without. So you get a set of instructions, and then we get 2 templates. So you get one for the rear and one for the front. The front one you mount on the inside, and there's 2 lines, so you've got to be careful which one you cut it out to. One with no number boards, one with number boards. And the front one you stick on the inside to let you know where to put your holes, and the back one you stick on the outside, and that's where you put your mounting holes, and then the 2 holes that let the system go through to the actual new quick release body clip system inside. So I'm going to get these cut out. Ours is one with the number boards, so I'm going to go for the line with the number boards. So I'll get them cut out, and I'll show you where you need to position them on your body shell. Right, so once you've got the templates cut out, and I'll put a picture here nice and big so you can see what the templates are, and this is what it means by the number plate, number boards. So the rear one you want to stick on like this. Once you've got it in place, you want it flush up against the edge of what would be the window, and then you've got a radiator sticker on back that this is the exact same width as, so you can line it up perfect. Then the inside one, to get this one lined up, you want it straight against the actual window, and then these lines, if you hold it up to the light, you can see the original body holes through them, so you can get him perfectly lined up, and then just tape it in place. Then the next thing we've got to do is, on this front one you've got 4 holes that we need to put through, so we've got to get them marked in and get them put through with the body hole reamer. And then on the rear we've got 4 holes, and then these 2 big cutouts, and them I'm going to use the multi-tool to just grind them out and get them perfectly level. And they are going to be covered up, so it's just where the clips go through and then turn. So we'll get them holes put through and get them holes cut out, and then we'll see what else we've got to do. Right, so we got the 2 holes and the 4 mounting holes, and then we got the 4 holes in the top of the body shell. A bit awkward to see on camera, but they are there. Right, so you're going to want 2 of these pieces, and then we're going to want this RPM mount. So you orientate the RPM mount back, yeah, second and fourth hold down. So we're going to mount this like that, and it does use the supplied screws. So you've got 4 of these little screws tapered, and they're going to go through this into those mounts. So we'll get that done and I'll show you what that looks like. Right, so that's how you want it assembled. Your 4 little screws in the front, you've got your little sort of trough cut out that faces up, and it's going to sit like that. The next thing we're going to do is you've got the locking plate, and that's got to be mounted on here, and then you've got 4 of these little spacers. So you're going to want a spacer, and then the locking plate, and then you've got a 20mm button head bolt that goes straight through it. So basically they're going to go through and then come through into the actual mount. Right, so that's going to be his next step. So 4 spacers, 4 20mm button head screws, and then for each one of them screws you have a lock nut for it. So basically that is how we need that assembled. 20mm bolts, your locking nuts, your spacers, all 4 of them, and that is how the mounting mechanism goes together. It looks like it's going to kind of mount in that orientation, but we need to see. So next thing we're going to do is, let's see if we can just remove the standard body mounts. So that's them 2 off. So you can kind of get some idea of how it's going to work, where the catchers go through, spin round and latch it onto that. So next thing, it's turners to assemble our radiator. Right, so next thing we're going to want is the radiator, and it's turners we need as fan assembly to be taken off. And then we've got a little locking foot. It looks like they just sit in place, and then you put that through. So it looks like the fans just spin inside it, and then we're going to drop a lock nut into the bottom of the locking foot, and then 25mm bolt runs all the way through it. So what I've done is, where you snap it off the tree, I've left that in line with the actual foot, so you can tell what position your locking pin's in, and if we get it right it should drop through into that hole, and then you twist it, locks it in place, and then if you twist it back it should be able to come out. So we need another fan shroud, another fan, and one of his little locking foots. So we want his fan with the blade sides facing forward, drop it through. You got the little mark where you snapped it from the tree that it's on. We put that in. We then drop a locking nut in, and then we get one of the longest screws and we put that through. And you don't want to over tighten these, because you do still want it to be able to move. That should be both of them. It looks like they're a tight fit, so it's going to be interesting to see how well this works. So let's get rid of that, and we'll get his body back, and that should now line up. And then what we're going to need to mount it. So mounting this on the radiator, you're going to want your 4 button head screws, and 4 of the little washers. And then we've got to line it up through the screw holes that we've cut in the body, and then pop them into the 4 screw holes. So I'll get that done and show you what that looks like. Right, so that's what you should end up with. Your radiator with your little rad cap at the top, your fans mounted, and then if I spin it round, and hopefully you get some idea of how the locking mechanism works. So next thing we've got to do is get the front mount assembled. So let's see what parts we need for that one. Right, so body mount wise on the front it's going to go that way, but what you're going to need is these 2 spacers, and then we're going to need 2 of the shorter screws and 2 of these little body protectors. So we're going to use these little sort of domed washers. You're going to put a screw through either one with the dome mount on the outside, and then we're going to put these through the body shell and then into that, and on the rear you're going to want the 2 spacers underneath. So I'll crack on and get that mounted, show you what it looks like. Right, so that is how you want the front mount positioned, and we've got the 2 spacers at the rear, and then on the body you've got the little button sort of washers. So kind of coming together pretty easy. To say it looks like there was an awful lot of parts in the box, I did think it were going to be more of a hassle of a job, but I mean, credit to them for RPM. The actual body mounts are the quality of them, they feel really good, and the masks that you cut out so far, they've been absolutely spot on. But let's have a look what we need on this one. I believe the stock mounting is the same, use the 2nd and 4th hole, so it looks like it mounts in that orientation, and then that goes on in the 2nd and 4th hole, and it looks like you can still get to the holes to mount the body. And these are going to be the 4 tapered head screws. So I'll get this mounted up and then show you what it looks like when it's finished. Right, so that's what you're going to be looking at completing. You want that faced forward, you want your little trough cut out facing up, and then your 4 screws. It says the standard height adjustment is 2nd and 4th hole from top, and that's going to take place of as body mounts. So we're going to need to remove the front one. And up to now I am pleasantly surprised at how easy this kit is to put together. Not sure if it's going to be easy to line up and fit the body shell. I'm not sure what adjustments we might need to do, but so far it's quite an impressive kit. So that is everything fitted. We don't have any parts left, which is good. So it does look like the body system, even if you just drop the car on, it does slide in pretty easy. And then you just have to line the back up, and it should just be a case of twist both of them. Yeah. So this is what's going to answer one of my first questions, because the stock body mounts, in my eyes, they weren't high enough. So this in the stock position, even though this is on a low centre of gravity chassis, if you have it in its stock mounting position, that will completely stop the wheels hitting the actual body shell. So if you have the notch on the back one facing forwards, the notch on the back one facing straight back, that releases it. So let's see how easy it is to adjust the position on it. See if we can actually do it while it's still on the RC. So can I get to these screws easy enough? Because I certainly would like my body shell slightly lower than what it was. So the front one's pretty easy to swap. I don't think the rear one's going to be any more difficult. Now at that, the wheels are only just touching the body shell, so that's pretty much where I'd want to run it. And the front one's clear it still. But quite a tidy install. To put it on, you want to start at that position and then just twist the body and you can feel that it's on. And then the rear should be able to wiggle it around and you feel it drop in. And then turn the right hand side one so it locks, the left hand side one so it locks. Let's see if that's actually gone in. Yeah, so they've both gone in. It's pretty solidly on there. That's a lot tougher than I expected it to be, and it does look really nice. So then to remove it, we spin this one all the way forward, we spin that one so the little notch from the tree is all the way back, and then just wiggle it, it comes off, slide it back. So yeah, quite impressive, but definitely more convenient than pulling body clips out and losing them. Only drawback is obviously you're left with the holes in the body, but this is my basher body for this one, so it's going to get marked up, it's going to get damaged, and you can always bolt weird little turbos and stuff or extra lights or whatever you want into the holes. If you were starting with a brand new clear body shell, it'd probably be a lot easier to mount because you can position it and you can see exactly where you need the holes. Although that said, these little templates, absolutely fantastic, and if you do what I've done and just use some weak tape, you can always save them, and if you want to transfer this to another body shell you can. The price of it in UK were $24.99 I believe. Oh, no, sorry, it were $24.98 from Appliance Electronics, their RC department. And let's see if we've got a part number. It is 70920. So what do I think about it? I'm gonna say I'm quite impressed. I mean, the looks of it, I'd say that looks nice. It looks authentic because you would have a rad on this kind of car on back. It's pretty easy to work out how to get it on and off, and they're quite tough, robust looking mounts. I think it's going to spread any impact quite well, and it does free up a lot of space. Now, my only question is, how would this work with the Scotch Parts mudguards? Right, so after a little bit of fiddling about, and as you can see, Scotch Parts mudguards are in place, and because the Scotch Parts mudguards fit quite tight up to the actual body shell themselves, and it does kind of hold the Scotch Parts mudguards exactly where they need to be, and we can put on and remove the body. So the only two parts that I've had to alter are these little towers. I've just cut them out the front. The Scotch Parts mudguards, because they fasten on in the middle and actually sit on the bash bars, and the body sort of holds them in place anyway. So yeah, if you want to run the Scotch Parts mudguards and the quick release RPM body kit, it does work. Not sure if you could repurpose the rear mount, see which is rear, to kind of tie between these two body posts, but it really doesn't seem necessary. I think that's the rear one. So although you could probably get away with mounting that and then put some body pins through it, I really don't think it's necessary. You just need to get used to where you need to put the pressure to put this body on. So you've got to kind of slide it forward and make sure it's in, and then you need to get these rear ones in place and just lock them. But yeah, quite impressed with that. So we can keep a Scotch Parts mudguards, and we can use the RPM body kit, quick release body kit. And the more you put this on and take it off, the easier it is, the more you get used to it. So hopefully you find that useful. But thanks again for watching WTF RC Cars. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, and catch you guys again in the next one.